Today we're going to make a vase out of this black walnut. I'm going to make the vase for a friend of mine, Valerie, who provided the black walnut. Now Valerie is not a huge fan of bark, so this might not be quite my style. I'm going to aim for Valerie's style, but it's still got to show that it came from me, so we'll probably work out something where we can agree to disagree. But still something she might like. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop. Howdy. Let's take a look at it. The piece is about 4.5 by 6 inches on the top, about 4 inches in diameter on the bottom. It's about 6.5 inches tall currently. It'll probably end up being about 6 inches tall. I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna do. It's not gonna be anything terribly unusual. Let's get over here to the lathe. I just hate taking my chuck off, so I like to just put my drive center into the chuck, let it protrude a little bit, and tighten it up. Now I already mounted this up, kinda. I didn't really mount it, but I did have it between centers without this in here, just between here and the live center. So I do have a hole in the bottom, kind of where I like it to be, I think. To be honest, I didn't look at it all that hard. So I'm just going to bring that up there like that. And I'm just going to lightly touch that drive center and make sure that I get it back where I had in mind. The goal here is this sticks out, this side here sticks out a lot more than this side does. So I want to cut that away first. So I'm kind of looking at the top here to see if I'm centered. And it looks pretty good. Bring up my tool rest and see that I want to make sure that this is closest to the tool rest so that I can turn down to this. And there's about 3/4 of an inch difference. So now I'm just going to apply a whole lot of pressure and drive the piece into that drive center. This isn't particularly a good idea. You should set that drive center either with a mallet or drill a hole for it. I did one not that long ago this way and it came right out of there, and then I ended up drilling a hole. But I'm a slow learner, so we'll see if this works. It looks like it should work just fine to me. I'm just going to have a large top on it, narrowed down to a narrower base. Like I said, it's all about the bark for me. It's not all about the bark for Valerie, but I gotta do me or she wouldn't know who she got it from. I'm gonna try and leave a band of bark around here. Now, of course, we're not gonna have any in this spot right here. We're just gonna see how it goes. I might end up taking all the bark off, and she can lie and say she got it from some big name wood turner. Let's see what kind of speed we can get. I'm sure it's out of balance. We can get about 600 for now. We can get faster after I get rid of some of this. That's where all the weight is right now. I think this is going to be real pretty. Well, that view might be better for you so you can see what I'm talking about with the tool rest. You see how close this is to the tool rest? And then how far away this is. And I may have had a change of heart. I might just remove all the bark, except this is a real low spot here, so it's possible there'll still be some left in there. I hope so. Maybe some on this side as well. I don't know. I had a slightly different shape come to mind. We'll see. 5/8 inch bowl gouge, 600 RPM, mask and face shield on. I'm going to tighten up my tailstock just to see if I've jarred it loose, and I have. So I feel a little better now, tightened it up. I'm going to start going the other way now. Gotta make sure I leave enough room down here at the bottom for a tenon. I want to take a minute here to flatten off the bottom, square it up, and prepare the tenon. Maybe I can pick the speed up now too. Not much, about 700. I'm debating whether or not I want to glue a glue block on there, but if I just make a tenon in the regular way, I'll lose about a half an inch, which is what I expected. So I don't think it's worth the time. Let me mark out for that tenon and see where it falls. Can't see because it's right on that heartwood, isn't it? I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch gouge to make the tenon. Well, that's not going to work. I guess I'll use a parting tool. I can't get straight in there with the gouge. Okay, that'll work. Let's get back at it. Well, I love this indentation and the ability to leave bark there, but it's actually interfering with my possible design. See, if it was me, I'd leave it right about there. Obviously clean up my cuts and whatnot, but to me that looks pretty good. I love this. I wonder if Valerie can live with it. I can just hear her complaining. Well, I like it. I don't know, there's a lot of missing bark. I mean, look at that. There's no bark there at all. None down here. Oh, man. I think you're going to have to live with it, Val. I just can't make myself do it. I just can't. Yeah. Time for sanding. Sorry, Val. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. I'll sand this bark area here. Well, just every place that needs it with the Sandoflex over here. And that's 120 grit because this is quite coarse bark. And then I'll switch to 180 grit, and then that's as fine as I'll go on the bark. When I'm done with that, I'll switch to my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit, working up through 400. I'll have the lathe spinning in reverse at about 400 RPM. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. And that'll clean it up and make it feel smooth. It already does, but it doesn't change how it looks, so that's a good thing. And then the 2-inch disc. And that's gonna be pretty easy peasy. Can't hardly beat that. I'll bring it back here in a little bit and we will turn it around. I think I'll put the finish on later. We'll turn it around, start hollowing it up. I said I wasn't gonna put any finish on now, but I lied. I'm taking advantage of what we might call mild weather. There's no freezing temperature the last couple of days or today. It's about 40 degrees out and I need to take advantage of that when I can. So I'm getting a step ahead is what I feel like. And besides, I wanted to talk to you about something. I get asked frequently, and I'm grateful that I get asked, do I sell my work? Where can I buy your work? Well, I wish I could. I wish I could sell it. You can't buy it anywhere. I've never sold any. And the reason is I just don't have time for packing and shipping. I'm a one-man operation. I need a helper, but I don't have a helper, so I can't sell my work. I don't have time to even sell it locally. So then you might ask, well, if you don't have time to pack and ship, how are you gonna get this to Valerie? Well, Valerie happens to have a friend that goes over and visits her. She's in the northwest part of the state, and I'm more in the central Puget Sound area. We're quite a ways apart. I don't know how far, 100 miles or better. But Cindy, her friend, goes over and visits once in a while, and she could just stop by here and take this to Valerie. I don't have to find a box and find a shipping label and take it to the post office and all that sort of thing. So it just works out. So I'm applying sanding seal, shellac-based sanding sealer. It's called Zinsser Seal Coat. And then I'll apply a couple of coats of this and a couple of coats of Zinsser shellac over it. But I'm going to do the shellac all at the same time I do the inside. So this is just going to be sanding sealer for now. But it'll give us a good idea what it's going to look like with all the finished shellac on there. And I think it's going to look pretty dang nice. Now Valerie's the first person to apply wood to this channel. Way back when, way back like 5 years ago. She showed up here one day with a half a pickup load of maple, mostly as I recall. And I turned a lot of that in the beginning. I think there's still probably 2 or 3 pieces around here. And she has supplied me with a lot of wood since via Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. I'm hoping I didn't make a mistake and make that tenon too small. It kind of looks small to me. Then after I brush, I always like to come behind with the rag with more sanding sealer on it to erase any brush marks I might be leaving here or any drips or whatever. Okay, there we go. That's the first coat. I'll get a second coat on there and I'll see you when it's time to start working on the inside. See you in a while. Well, I'm glad that my tenon fit in there nice, very nicely. I forgot to square up the top of this piece. So I'm going to do that now with my parting tool. Going to have the lathe spinning at about 1200 RPM. Mask and face shield on, of course. I forgot to mention that I drew a circle on there. You can probably see it. It's right about there. It was just a general guideline. I'm not necessarily going by that, but there it is. Also, I generally like to put a bead on this kind of thing, so maybe the bead will start right here. Yeah, that looks good as a matter of fact. I think we can turn that into a bead. Now I just want to use my gouge to kind of roll over this edge a little bit. that looks better. Can't do the inside of the bead yet until we drill it out, but I can do the outside. And I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch gouge for that. And that's good. So now we'll probably drill right in this area right here. Okay, we have the start of a bead. We've got a rounded edge. Now we're ready to drill. Now I'm only going to show you a little bit of this because it just gets tedious. And that's a 1 3/4 inch bit, I think, Forstner bit. I've got the lathe spinning at 150 RPM. I'm going to drill as deep as I can. I'm eventually going to drill it out to about 2 inches. I'm not entirely sure yet. And I'll just be repeating that over and over and over until I get to where I need to be. I'll bring you back here in a bit and we'll get to doing a little bit of turning on it. Okay, I got that drilled out now. We're at, I think this is a 2 1/8 inch bit, and I'll just do the same thing. Still the same 150 RPM. Lather, rinse, repeat. Now I just need to round this over and maybe complete the bead. I'm not sure. I kind of like what this looks like, but I need to get rid of this to see if I like what's there. I do have a little issue right here. There's a little tiny knot right there that wants to split. It's already split. So I don't want to get a big chip out there, so I need to be careful. I'm going to be at about 1,000 RPM with a 3/8 inch bowl gouge. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. I don't know quite how I got it, but there's a little dip right here, a little cove. So we've got a bead started out here, and then it goes into a cove. Maybe I started to do the other side of the bead. I don't think so. It would have been like this, and I don't think I did that. But somehow I got a cool little cove there, and I like it. And so I think I'm gonna leave it like that, and the knot is okay. So now it's a matter of doing some turning on the inside, open up the opening here a little bit, but I'm not gonna hollow it all the way down. I'm not gonna try and make it real thin. There's a pretty good dip in the outside over here, and I don't want to come through the side there. So I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I do have some room, but I'm not gonna hollow it all the way down. Just maybe 2 or 3 inches, something like that, and blend it hopefully well. That's the idea. We'll see how that goes. And for that, I'm gonna use this number 2 hollower. Well, I wish I had a spindle steady. It just makes me nervous sticking out that far from the chuck without a spindle steady and trying to hollow. I know I could go thinner, but I'm scared to. Real good right here. Well, I could go thinner, but I'm going to stop. I just don't want to ruin it. It looks pretty good. Time for sanding. I'm going to use my customary way to sand the inside. I'm going to use this sandpaper on a stick. It's in my drill. It's just a dowel with a slit cut in the end of it. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. Spin the piece up, spin the drill up, and sand. I don't know what grit this is, so I'll see how it does. I might have to go coarser or finer, I don't know. When I'm done with that, I will use a 2-inch disc, varying grits up to 400, starting at, I don't know, 120, and just sand this area here. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. I'll have the piece spinning at about 350. Yeah, I think I'll have to go a little bit coarser than that, but again, working up through 400, same as the outside. Like that. Being a bit. Got a block of wood mounted up in my chuck. I'm going to place the vase over that and bring up my tailstock. We still have the center hole there for reference, so we can just drive the live center into that. Now I do want to try and center it up here at the headstock end. We'll see how that works. Apply a little pressure, bring up the tool rest, spin the piece up, see if it's running true. And it is. Turn the speed up to about 600 RPM. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch bowl gouge and begin to commence removing the tenon. Now I think I have lots of clearance, but I'm just going to check. Lots of clearance. I'm looking over the tenon and make sure there's no cracks in it. And there are a couple of little cracks, but they might be okay. This is end grain, so it can break loose when you least expect it. You have to be careful. Now that's pretty small, so I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge so that I can get in there closer. I'm also going to adjust my tool rest a little bit closer and a little bit higher. And I'm going to turn the speed down to about 400 RPM. And just keep working it away. Now I'm turning the speed down to about 200 RPM. And I've got the right hand on the bowl gouge, left hand on the switch. And when the little nub stops turning, we'll know we're through. Now I'll just take this over here to the workbench, sand that up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. Be sure you stick around at the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. One black walnut vase for my friend Valerie in the books. Sorry, Valerie, I just couldn't take that off. I just couldn't do it. But turn it around this way. You don't have much bark to look at there. I really like the way this bead ended up with that extra little dip in there. It was an accident, but I think it was a good one. Yeah, I personally like it. I even signed it. Can't read it, but I signed it. You can read it, but you need a good light and a good eye. I signed it. I even dated this one. I don't usually date my work. I've explained why before. There you go, Valerie. Hope you like it. Thanks for the wood, Val. If you like this video, thumbs up, please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos, about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.